Mind Slayer alert.
Hello everyone, Adavan here. Going to go over my Pulse Beam DPS build. I built this character originally as a storage unit, and it turned out to be a really good build, so I just kept playing it. Good DPS, around 3k, low aggro, good survivability, and awesome for cosmics. So without any further ado, we'll get into the build. Alright, I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet. Again, this was something I just kind of stumbled upon. I know it's freeform and all, but for stats, I took ego, dexterity, and recovery, and we ended up with a critical chance of 42.8 and a severity of 95. Now, this critical chance, because of your spec tree, is going to go up, and it's pretty significant. You don't need much more than 150 recovery to max it out. The higher ego and the higher dexterity you can get, though, that's your best bet for this kind of build. As I said, this is a ranged DPS build based on single target tick attacks or maintain attacks. There we go. For powers, or for spec tree, it took ego, vindicator, and guardian to get that nice aggressive stance and the best defense combo. So it kind of magnifies the effects of those two. And of course, you take aggression, modified gear, and fortified gear in order to get those stats up as high as possible as well. Again, critical severity, and down here, follow through and 6 cents for critical as well. I probably would have switched these two around, but overall, I'm really happy with the results. And I'll show you for powers here. Particle beam rifle is your energy builder, and I rarely ever use it. With this build, I never touch energy builder; it just goes forever. Pulse beam rifle, rank 3. Chest beam. The only reason I have chest beam is for burn through, so I just tap it to get that debuff on the target. For healing, bionic shielding and rebirth. Conviction is my major healing power, and field surge is my active defense. Nanobot swarm brings all your powers back, and I'm pretty sure I have the healing effect on it as well. Lock and load is my active offense for more damage. My slotted passive is quantum stabilizer, and that's it. Here are my innate characteristics. Took the quick trigger as opposed to the psychokinetic, which I normally take for DPS, but this one gives you 12 and 12, so I just took this one. Ego, dexterity, recovery, agile, indomitable, shooter, impresario, martial training, and worldly. And of course, I took the energy unlock for overdrive, so again, you never use the energy builder. Alrighty, I did this already on a parser, and I'll show you the capture screen, but we can go ahead and show you the chain real quick. Start off with gravity driver, boom, chest beam, and there we go, right into pulse beam rifle. And you see awesome numbers right off the bat. Now, pulse beam rifle, the only downfall is its inconsistency. You never know how long or what you're going to get, and it's a huge spread. Normally, I go 2 full maintains of pulse beam rifle and do a quick chest beam for that burn through buff or debuff, and the expose is what's helping my get so many criticals. Critical, and this just goes on forever. As you see, I've never touched my my energy builder, and he barely ever dropped below 75% energy. You know, full stacks now, and you can see decent numbers right off the bat. Now, this ticks every 0.53 seconds of time. So, every half a second, just over half a second, you're doing. That's what these numbers are. So, any 2 of those is what it is for 1 second of DPS damage per second. You see, it just goes on forever. So that's it. We'll go over to gear real quick using just normal heroics stuff here. Critical strike, ego. Recovery, that's my best one in here. Defense. If I get a 4-slot of or a 4-slot piece of gear, I'll probably put a offense on here. That'll bump up that offense and defense a little bit more. And just another 3-slotter. And of course, these are just normal purples that you can get anywhere for a couple global. And that's it for this. So I'm going to show you what we do against, or show you the tables real quick. Okay, here are the stats from the parser. As you can see, overall it was 3,361 DPS with 621 hits every half a second. Critical percent was 75% overall, but if you look, the pulse beam rifle was 77%. And the minimum hit on the pulse beam rifle was 389, and the max hit was 3,000, or 3,000 plus. So you can see that there was a lot of difference between the minimum hit and the maximum hit. So there's a big spread, but you get a huge amount of shots in. I didn't use chest beam very often, and I only used the gravity driver twice on the one I did recording on. And this wasn't like a special run where I was using all kinds of extra stuff to get all the points up. This was just a straight run with no active offense and no damage booster. So really good turnout. And these numbers are pretty similar to when I was using the just regular old leveling gear. It was almost 3,000 DPS with just leveling gear. All right, for this last little bit, this is the end of a dyno run. I come in around 10th place, and there was no real major resets. And it should go to show with even the simplest of builds, anybody can score really well in the Cosmics. Remember, just keep it simple and don't use a lot of powers. Just concentrate on making the most of the powers you have.